What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got a bunch of information about One Piece stuff that's happening. I am excited, and quite frankly, I think you should be too. So we're going to start off, because there's a bunch of stuff going on, we might as well start off here with the Treasure Cup that's happening in August. Now, I say the Treasure Cup, obviously there are a bunch of Treasure Cups that are happening all over. There are a bunch of them. There's one happening, and in fact, no, I'm lying to you. There's two happening at Gencon, one online, one offline, and then they're happening all over the place. But there are a bunch of very interesting things going on, including we're finally getting some of those cards, which is lovely. Some of those prize cards, like Marco. Not sure if I remember talking about Marco before. Regardless, we can talk about it here. So, if you rock up to the Treasure Cup, you get yourself an event pack volume 2. That's a lie, you get 2 of them. And you get Don sleeves. Now, these are just the back of the card in black. We've seen these cards before. It's weird. They just keep giving us the back of the cards in different colour as sleeves. I'm still not 100% sure why, but it's kind of cool. I think I'm willing to allow it. But then what we've got is top 128. You get yourself another event pack. Now you're up to 3. It's fine. It's nice to have another event pack. Let's not get too over the top. Although I suppose before we go anywhere else, we should mention what the event packs actually are. So these are the ones that feature Yuraizo, Sasaki, Suru as kind of alternate art cards. And then cards that were originally magazine promos over in Japan, being General Frankie, Monkey D. Luffy, and Sanji. So that is event pack 2. I know some people kind of wish they'd stuck on event pack 1 for a little bit longer. It's a fair point. Hard to argue too much. But the reality is that's not what's happening. We've moved on to event pack 2. Do bear in mind that General Frankie, Monkey D. Luffy, and Sanji are all proper job promos, not alternate arts. Which means unless they are released in some other way in the future, this is essentially going to be the only way to get hold of these. If you want these cards, you're going to have to get yourself an event pack. Cool? Cool. So that's up to top 128, but then top 64 you get yourself, we actually get another event pack, woo, and you get yourself a storage box. It's cool, it's nice. It is, I believe it's a storage box you got buying the starter decks from Japan. So I actually have this from before the game even came out in English, which is kind of cool. But then you get yourself Marco. Marco is where it starts getting very cool. Now this is a reprint of the Marco from OPO2. 4 cost, 5,000 power with blocker. And on KO, you may trash 1 card with a type including Whitebeard Pirates from your hand. If you have 2 or less life, play this character from your trash rested. Now, weirdly, the scan we have on the website has kind of put this over other writing, which makes it look weird. I've got to believe that when we actually have this card revealed, as in kind of when it's actually out there, when it's at tournaments, we're actually being given it, I'd like to think it's not going to be printed over other text. I think this is just a scan they put up on the website. I wouldn't be terribly upset. I'm willing to believe it's all going to be done. But this is a Marco that has seen a bunch of play in a bunch of red decks, which is kind of cool. And of course, it is basically the alternate art of Marco, but they've gone and prettied it up with a new border, and they've got Treasure Cup as a stamp on it, and all kinds of fun things. It's pretty cool, honestly. It's a nice card. Remember, this is coming for when you reach top 64. Now, top 32, you get another event pack. And then top 16 is where it really starts kicking off. Because top 16, you get the alternate art queen. Now, I did look the other day, the Japanese version of this card is really not that expensive, which is surprising to me. Like, I know it's not a particularly popular card, alright? That's not escaped me. But it's still an alternate art, which is only given if you, get a particular placing at a tournament. You would imagine it's still going to be a card which is moderately popular, but really not that expensive, the Japanese version. When I looked the other day, at least, we'll have to see how it goes on as time goes by. This is, of course, an alternate art of the Queen from Starter Deck 4 that again has blocker, and on play, Don -1, draw 2, trash 1. So it's a blocker that can also cycle some cards. I made this point before, you don't really gain card advantage doing this, but you get to cycle cards, see more cards, that's nice. Then you get up to top 8, that's where you get the Roanoa Zorro alternate art. Do bear in mind this is the good Roanoa Zorro from OP01, the one that's got Rush, and has the amazing Akira Igawa alternate art as well for what it's worth. And this is a card which you ain't picking this one up particularly cheap anytime soon, because firstly, it's Zorro, and Zorro's pretty popular, and secondly, this is a phenomenal card, sees a whole bunch of play. Oh yeah, you also get your serial Luffy at top 8. That's quite important. Top 8 is where you get your serial Luffy, so basically, top 8 is where it really kicks off with a treasure cup. Don't get me wrong, I like having the Queen for top 16, I like having a Marco for top 64, more event packs are always good, etc. But let's make no bones about it, it's really top 8 where it starts really kicking off. Now, interestingly enough, when you get top 4, there's nothing extra, there's no extra prizes for top 4, but second place, you get the playmat, which is the 7 Warlords of the Sea. And this is all super interesting to me because I kind of know, like, I think I'm at issue 430, so I've kind of come across Bartholomew Kuma a little bit, and I obviously know all about Crocodile, and I've seen Dracula Mihawk, but only for a minute, and Don Quixote do Flamingo, but only for a minute, and then some of them I've not seen at all. So it's really weird following this card game so closely while being like a third of the way, more than that now, but between a third and half of the way through the manga, because there's so much that I don't completely understand when I look at these cards now, and it's just kind of cool. I'm sure we'll find more as we go along. Now, that's what you get for second place. Champion, you get yourself more event packs, you get yourself a booster box, but really you get the playmat. The 4 Emperors. Obviously, I've come across Shanks. I've seen a tiny bit of Edward Newgate. But Charlotte, Lin, and Kaido have yet to come into the manga at this stage, at least where I'm reading it. But that's all by the by. It's a beautiful playmat. These playmats have been released before. We have seen them before. Maybe they'll come back again. Maybe they won't. What is extremely important, though, is just the fact that these are going to be very sought after. Like, these treasure cups are very competitive, very difficult to do well in, and you literally get one of the playmats for second place and one for first place. It's not like there are going to be a huge amount of these out there. So if you like these playmats, yay! You're gonna have to work for them, ladies and gentlemen. You are going to have to work for them. Now, we have also been told about a bunch of other stuff. For those of you that are going to Gencon, they are doing... Well, I've already said there's going to be a treasure cup, right? There's going to be an offline treasure cup and an online treasure cup, which is awesome. But there's actually a bunch of other stuff happening. There is an online regional happening, and there is an offline regional happening. More on those in a moment. And then they're also hosting a bunch of buddy battles there as well, which is wonderful. So, yeah, now some of those tournaments, they are actually making with a cap of 1,024 players, and we need to give Bandai some credit for this, alright? Because basically, for a long time now, people have been complaining that we've just not had enough spaces for all of these tournaments. Well, now Bandai have been going out of their way, making sure that they can get more people in. They've been upping the cap for some of these events. And look, we can't have an infinite cap on tournaments. That would make no sense. That would be ridiculous. So I'm not saying that's what they should be doing. They definitely shouldn't be. But what I am saying is Bandai are clearly listening and clearly making an effort. Perfect? No. Space for everybody? No. But are they making an effort, trying to up the capacity, getting more people playing? Yeah, they really are, and I think they deserve some love for that. Now, the buddy battle we've talked about before, I went through that the other day, so we don't need to go through it too much here. Suffice to say, it is a 2-player battle that looks a little bit like this, and it sounds like an awful lot of fun. So when I say 2-player battle, I mean 2-player per team, 4 players in total. And for participating, you get a promotional pack and an event pack, and then a winning team gets 10 Nami sleeves as well. Oh, and a promotion pack 2023 Volume 1, which is very, very cool. So yeah, This is awesome. So participation, you get a promotional pack and an event pack. And then for winning, you get yourself Nami sleeves and a promo pack. Sounds cool, ladies and gentlemen. Sounds very, very cool. Now, there are some regionals coming up. I don't intend to go through an exhaustive list of all the regionals here. The best bet is to go to the One Piece website and see what's going on in your region, etc., because, you know, there's a few different ones for different regions, and it gets very confusing. That's not really what we're going for here. Just a reminder that online regionals are happening. Now, I know some of them are selling out extremely quickly. For that, I can only apologize. But unfortunately, they're just popular. And I think an important thing to remember here is that, yes, them selling out because they're too popular is kind of annoying because not everybody gets to go and join in with everything they want to. That obviously sucks. But it's also kind of awesome in that it shows how popular the game is and how well the game is doing. And if you like the One Piece TCG like I do, even though sometimes not everybody is able to register for everything they want to, and yes, that is rubbish, it is worth pointing out that having a healthy game that we can all take part in, that is actually a very good thing, and that should be something that we can all, you know, get excited about. Now, do remember that just for turning up, you will get your participation pack for regionals, and that does include those amazing cards that are stamped, which is lovely. Although, do bear in mind, as usual, it is one card per pack. I'm sorry. There is a finalist card set, which is just the same cards, but stamped with finalist instead. And you get one of those when you make top 32. And then there is a champion set, again, same cards but stamped with champion, which you get for winning the whole thing. That should be fairly obvious. You do get 10 gold Don cards for coming second, which is kind of amazing. And you have the promos of Sakazuki, Borsalino, and Kazan that we've talked about before. Borsalino is for top 64, Kazan for top 32, and Sakazuki is top 16. Do remember as well that if you are in North America, you will need an invite to finals in nationals. So that's top 16 is where that kicks in here. That's pretty gosh darned important. Oh yeah, and of course, there is a finalist playmat, which is this, and then a winners playmat, champion playmat, which features, I want to say the Vice Admirals, or are they Admirals? Not 100% sure on this one yet. I'll come back to you on that one. Point is, there's a champion playmat, and it's very cool. We're not going to go too deep into regionals because we've talked about them before, but I thought it was worth having a quick chat while we were here. So there we go. There's lots of cool stuff happening, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me which of these tournaments you're joining in with. Tell me how excited you are. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all kinds of fun things. Oh, and please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.